Hello, my name's Tom and this is Proper Honest Tech. I'll be honest, I hadn't planned on buying the new Apple TV 4K. I've owned the original 4K box, the V4 edition of the Apple TV, for a couple of years now, and I've been really pleased with it. I made a video reviewing the device, as well as a couple of tips videos, and they've all been really well received. There's clearly a lot of interest out there for the Apple TV boxes here on YouTube in 2021, which in a way surprises me. So many TVs have smart capabilities these days, offering apps like Netflix, Prime, Disney Plus right there in the TV, yet the Apple TV boxes still continue to sell well. So I figured I'd buy the new one after all. I'm planning on making a few videos with this. I want to compare the features of the new box against the old one, and I want to compare the new remote against the old one as well. So if those videos are something you'd be interested in seeing, do make sure you subscribe to the channel. But in this video, I figured I'd simply unbox the unit, show you what you get when you buy one, get it hooked up to a 4K TV, and show you the process of setting one up. So, first up, the box. The first thing I noticed is that Apple are giving the remote a more prominent position in their marketing this time around. On the previous edition of Apple TV 4K, the box just showed, well, the box on the packaging. No real mention of the remote until you flipped it over and looked on the back. And that, in a way, is kind of how Apple seemed to view the remote in general last time around. It always felt like more of an afterthought than an actual winning feature of the overall product. This time around, the remote is the only piece of the hardware that's actually had an overhaul, a complete overhaul at that, and so this time around Apple are clearly keen to let you know that things have changed. I opted for the smaller 32GB model last time. This does also come in 64GB, and honestly I never even came close to filling the previous one up, so I went for the same this time too. I don't game on Apple TV, and most of the apps are only a few hundred megabytes at the most, so 32GB is more than enough space for me to load whatever apps I want without ever having to worry about filling it up. If you know you're going to load lots of games onto one of these, it could be worth the extra money to get a 64GB model instead. Opening the box up, we've got the Apple TV on the left and the brand new remote on the right. We'll take the Apple TV out first and put it to one side. I'm going to do a more thorough comparison video soon, but I can tell you right now, holding this for the first time, already this feels identical to the old box. Underneath where the Apple TV sits is some documentation, including Apple stickers and some very basic instructions, although to be fair, the Apple TV is insanely easy to use. You just plug it in and power it on. Underneath that is a USB to Lightning cable, which you're going to use to charge your remote when it needs it, which I find is about once every 6 months or so on the version that I've been using. It will be interesting to see if the newly designed remote consumes more power this time around. It does annoy me a little that Apple is still making products in 2021 that use the Lightning connector rather than just fitting them with a USB-C. I also don't understand why this remote couldn't have come with wireless charging, as scrabbling around for a Lightning cable once every 6 months or so is a bit of a pain, and being able to just drop this onto a Qi charging pad once every few months would have been so much easier. Then in this section on the right, you've got your power cable, standard 3-pin for here in the UK. And that's it. That is everything that's in the box. So something for you to consider when purchasing your Apple TV 4K is that it does not come with an HDMI cable. You're going to have to shell out for this yourself. Do keep in mind, if you're investing in one of these, you're looking to stream 4K HDR content at a high bitrate, plus potentially Dolby Atmos audio. So don't skimp on the cable and ensure that you're buying something with a decent enough bitrate capability to do the job. You don't have to buy Apple's recommended cable by any means here, as they are typically way overpriced, but you also want to avoid the real bargain basement options. Many cables these days will specifically state on the packaging that they have support for things like Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos, so look out for that and you shouldn't go too wrong. Right, let's take a look at each part of the Apple TV 4K in a bit more detail. The Apple TV itself first. It honestly looks and feels absolutely identical to the first one in every single way. In fact, I'm going to have to label mine to remember which is which for when we move. It comes with this black tape around the sides to protect it while it's in the packaging, which is good as the sides of the unit are glossy and it's an absolute fingerprint and scratch magnet once the tape is off. Next, the remote. This for me is the most interesting part of the unboxing, as this is the only component in the box that's actually had a redesign. It feels nice enough. It feels much chunkier and a bit weightier in the hand than the previous model, while still feeling premium thanks to the aluminium design. The buttons are all pretty clear, although they do feel really clicky at the moment. It's actually quite a loud remote control to use. This will hopefully ease off with long-term usage, but if not, keep this in mind if you plan on using this next to a sleeping partner, for example. So that's the unit unboxed. Let's plug it in and get it set up. Doing so is extremely easy. It's a case of plugging the included power cable into the relevant port and your HDMI cable into the HDMI socket of the box, then into your TV or AV receiver. If you're planning on hardwiring for a network connection, you've got an Ethernet port here to do just this. So long as you've got power at the wall outlet, your Apple TV will immediately begin booting up. There's no power button on the box itself. The first screen you see is this one here, asking you what language you want to use. Then choose your region, and then a notification about an icon that appears when an Apple app or feature is asking if it can use your personal information. I got this notice letting me know that the region I'm in uses a different format to the one the box is currently set to, so I'm going to allow the box to choose the one most appropriate. Next up is an option to set the box up automatically using my iPhone, which you can do by holding your iPhone close to the Apple TV box. I recommend this, it makes the entire process extremely simple. Annoyingly, the footage that you're currently watching is being filmed on, you guessed it, my iPhone, creating a bit of a catch-22. So in the interest of keeping the footage rolling, I'm going to set mine up manually, and then at least you get to see how easy that process actually is. I'm going to allow Siri, then I'm going to connect to the Wi-Fi, then input my Apple ID with two-factor verification from one of my connected devices to keep things nice and secure. I can then choose when and if I want to use a password for purchases, and then connect my TV provider of choice. I'm currently using Freeview for another couple of months here in the UK until we move to our new place, at which point I'll be reconnecting our Sky setup, so I'll see if this can be utilised at that point. This is also my second Apple TV 4K box, and I do want to enable this feature where I can have a unified home screen across all the devices. I really like that feature, making moving from one to another really seamless. This Apple TV is going to be in the living room, so I'll choose that option, and I'll allow location services. I'm going to allow the box to download screensavers as needed and make a decision regarding sending analytics about my usage to Apple. Finally, terms and conditions, pretty standard, and that's it, it's set up. If you're setting up one of these brand new for the first time with no unified home screen, the Apple TV will just have the core apps, and you can use the App Store to go and grab the other apps that you might want. Mine is using unified home screen, so it's going to begin downloading all of my apps automatically in the background. Annoyingly, I am now going to have to sign in to things like Netflix, Disney+, etc., with this being a brand new device, so that's likely what I'll go and do next. And that's it, the new Apple TV 4K 2021 edition unboxed and set up. I'll end this video here because I'm going to make a couple more videos in the next few weeks. I want to compare the remotes and the boxes, and also compare how the boxes actually run when performing typical tasks to see if that new processor is worth the money and give you an idea of whether it's worthy of paying to upgrade or not. So if that interests you, do keep an eye on the channel. I hope you found this video useful. If you did, do please consider leaving me a like and subscribing to the channel for more content like this in the future. See you on the next video.